It's going to break my heart when the day comes that I have to tell him, not alone, I mean, let alone his younger brother and sister, that, our camping days at the state fair are no more. We can't do it.
She's been camping at the state fair her entire life. It's a tradition she'd like to pass on down to her children, but that might not be possible. Channel 13's Sonia Heitsusen tells us why and what the fair board could do about it. The story's new tonight at 10.
Nothing comes easy for Carter Claver. He was born with a rare metabolic disorder and suffered a stroke when he was just 15 months old. Cognitively, he's like any other 8-year-old.
But physically, he is not capable of anything himself.
But that doesn't prevent Carter from taking part in family activities. With the help of his parents, he swims and camps. He even raised this lamb named Buttercup.
We actually kind of would put it right here between his legs, and he'd have his hand on top of it and bottle feed him.
And when it came time for the county fair, the Clavers figured out a way for Carter to show Buttercup.
He holds onto the lead himself. We just wrap a couple loops around his arm of his chair, and he holds onto the lead.
But the county fair may be the last fair for Carter and his animals.
As much as he loves camping and loves the state fair, it's going to come to the point that we're not going to be able to take him anymore because his safety is more important than anything. Do you like to go camping at the fair?
The Clavers are concerned that as Carter gets older, they won't be able to maneuver his chair down the rocky, hilly terrain at the state fair campgrounds.
He tips over. He can't catch himself. He can't stop his head from going over. Literally, if he falls over, even to the side, more than likely he's going to break an arm, a nose, or something on his face.
And a handicap accessible spot is out of the question.
They have no sites designated for handicap or disabled camping at all.
The bathrooms, the bathhouse, and the trams are all handicap accessible.
But the campsites themselves are not.
There aren't any state mandates for those to be accessible. So at this point, they're not.
Lori Chappell, the spokesperson for the Iowa State Fair, says the fair board and campground managers try to work with campers who have special needs. But as of right now, creating handicap accessible campsites is not in the cards.
Here he comes.
Okay.
The Clavers don't understand why.
We've been to Army Corps campgrounds, state campgrounds, and even private campgrounds, and all of them have, if not one, at least possibly two that are handicap designated.
We are still looking at it and want to be accessible to everyone. So, it's certainly something that would be considered.
Okay.
Not on the plans at this point, though.
It actually breaks my heart and makes me very angry at the same time. Every day is a fight for Carter. No matter what, anything you do, nothing is easy. He struggles at everything. The simplest things that we take for granted, he can't do on his own. There's very few things that he loves to do and very few things he can do.
For Carter and others with disabilities, this is one more thing that doesn't come easy.
That's Sonia Heitsusen reporting. The Iowa Attorney General's office tells us the law regarding accessibility at the state fair campgrounds is sort of a gray area. The group Disability Rights Iowa, which advocates for people with disabilities, says its attorneys are going to meet with the state fair board after this year's fair to come up with a way to make the campgrounds more accessible. As for the Clavers, the fair did work with them to obtain a campsite that's closer to the main road.